you'd think that it would be. So the 5.7 regular is still really responsive. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over the all-new Ram 1500 Laramie. Before we get in this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Laramie Miller Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler here in Sandy, Utah for giving me some time with this Laramie. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions or need any help, just ask for Ryan. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood of this truck, we have the 5.7 liter Hemi V8, which goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 15 around town and then 21 on the highway, with power outputs being 395 horsepower and then 410 pound-feet of torque. Now, something to mention, for the 23 model year, early availability will only be the e-torque Hemi. They might bring back the regular 5.7 Hemi later in the model year, but that's just how things are right now. Now, before we go to the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So since this has the sport package, you have the cool sport hood with the vents, which is always a fun look. And then popping down below, being a Laramie, you've got the LED daytime running lights there with the headlights. Notice the grille is darker in coloration or body painted, again, part of the sport package, but the Ram logo still chrome because that's what you get with the sport. And then you've got parking sensors at the bottom, and then this one has fog lights on either side. And putting it all together, it's still a good looking truck. Coming around the side here, tire wheel setup is 275, 55, 20 in the front and in the rear as well. And then you guys can see here with the wheel design, you've got like those cool chrome inserts with the silver wheel. Looks good. Now this particular Laramie has the air suspension system added to it, so it's got 4-corner air suspension. We've got these cool body painted fender flares here, and then you guys can see the Ram logo there on the side. Then notice the mirrors body painted, and then so are the door handles. And then taking a look at the full side profile with the fender flares and everything, the truck looks good. So here is our key fob. We have our unlock function, our lock function, the tailgate drop down. This is for the air suspension to lower it, and then that is the remote start function. So we'll press that a couple times and boom. So we have a payload capacity of 1,683 pounds with this truck. Now this particular one doesn't have bed line or anything from the factory or the bed utility group. So pretty plain Jane, I guess, from a bed perspective. Ooh, pretty light. We got the sport logo here on the side, and then you guys can see here with the taillights, you got the cool LED taillights that come with the Laramie, and then all of our chrome badges here on the back, including the Laramie logo. And then you got the dual exhaust tips here at the bottom with the receiver hitch. And by the way, towing capacity with this particular one is right around that like 10,000 pound range. And putting it all together, the Laramie Sport is still a cool looking package to this day. Now taking a look at the door panel, you guys can see we've got the stitching here in the leather trim with the Laramie, and then you got the suede insert here, and then look at the black trim at the top, and still looks good to this day. Now same thing here with the seats, and then you guys can see here with the inserts that go throughout the seat, and then notice perforated all down the center portion. Almost forgot to mention, we do have some under seat storage with the truck, and you guys can see the ice buckets as well. Legroom here in the back of the Laramie is pretty solid. You guys can see you got a little storage pocket here. We've got some cup holders here with the blacked out trim, and then you got the USBs down below with a full power outlet. And then headroom's also solid. And yes, this does in fact come with the cup holder armrest. With the front door panel, it's identical to the rear in terms of the overall style and all of the trim pieces. Notice we've got our window controls here, front two are automatic. The mirrors do power fold in. With this truck, you got memory seat functionality, and then more speakers here for the sound system. And then the mirrors also have blind spot monitoring. Now with the front seat, you guys can see the piping on either side. You got the Laramie logo down below, and then it was perforated all down the center portion. And then here's our power adjustments on the side. We've got our pedal adjustment down below with the parking brake, all of our light controls right here with the fog light, and then the cargo light. And then here is the steering wheel, which is manually adjustable. So here's a quick look at the steering wheel. Really nice padding all around. You got the darker stitching here on the center portion with radio controls in the back of the steering wheel. It also comes with regular cruise control, your gear limiter system, your voice command phone controls, and then controls for the center stack as well. And then of course we have a hard turn signal windshield wiper stock. Now, when it comes to the gauge cluster with the Laramie, the only way to get the full digital gauge cluster as of right now is to get a GT package Laramie with all of the options. Otherwise, you're going to get this gauge cluster. So that's just a little bit of 101 for you guys, I suppose. But you can scroll through different bits of info. I guess this one has low tire pressure because it's cold outside. But, you know, standard stuff. This is the same gauge cluster you guys have seen for quite some time. Now here's the backup camera. It does have trajectory lines. Then you guys can see we can also zoom in there on the receiver hitch to help out with hooking up to a trailer. Now, just like before, this does come standard with this infotainment screen. You can upgrade to the 12-inch display if you want that. And you know, overall with this display, it still responds really well. You guys can see the Android Auto there. This one has navigation, and then you can also control the dual zone climate system. Still have heated and cooled seats and heated steering wheel as standard. And there's still 12 volt there at the top. And then down below, we've got analog controls for like the radio, for example, the heated, cooled seats, heated steering wheel, and then the dual zone climate controls. You don't get that if you get the 12-inch display. And then you got our parking sensors here, tow haul mode, stability control, and then again, this one has the air suspension, so this is just the toggle to adjust that. Here's our dial shifter for that 8-speed automatic transmission, and you guys can see we've got 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel auto, 4-wheel high, and then 4-wheel low with this truck. And then we've got really nice padding and stitching here all across the dash. And then you guys can see this one has the center console, so decent storage space here with the measuring charts. This slides backwards and forwards. And then this one has a wireless phone charging pad. You can see the USBs there, and then we have a full power outlet down below. And then with the glove box, you guys can see decent storage space with all of it. And then notice the Laramie logo there on the glove box. Now I've got a power sliding rear window with this truck. And then this one just has the regular roof, so no sunroof. So the window tint prevents me from being able to show the window sticker because it's dark enough it's not going to pop up on camera. But anyways, this one stickers for almost $67,000 with the options that it has. Let's see how this Sport drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood. Both the mirrors, which like I said, do have blind spot monitoring, and throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. Setting off in this Ram 1500 Laramie with the air suspension. So I guess I'll answer a few questions in this driving portion. So first question is, I guess, should you hold tight and wait for the 5.7 Hemi to become available again? Again, you can still get the 5.7 Hemi, just you have to have it with the e-torque system with early availability. Or should you just, you know, go with the e-torque setup? And I'll talk about this as someone who did own a 5.7 Hemi Ram with the e-torque. So first off, with the air suspension, it smooths things out quite a bit with the truck. So it just makes it feel, you know, a little bit more luxury, which I think is a big plus from a daily driver perspective. And I just realized the climate is on auto and it's set to super warm. So we're gonna try to, oh, I hate this so much. We'll leave it there. Hopefully the fan speed isn't in the way. But anyways, yeah, it really does smooth things out quite a bit. And, you know, this drives just, you know, the same as like a 2019 Ram 1500. So if you've driven the 19, you've driven, you know, the new one, right? So that really hasn't changed all that much. But what I will say is, you know, the thing that really kind of, I guess, made a difference for me in the Rebel that I reviewed earlier this week was like that new digital gauge cluster, because it just made the truck feel a little bit different. But this not having it, it kind of, you know what I mean? It kind of makes it feel like, I wouldn't say less special, but like, you know, it hasn't really changed, right? And I think that's weird that they don't put that as standard in the Laramie, because Laramie is a luxury package, so you'd think that it would be. So the 5.7 regular is still really responsive, but the e-torque, you get like a little bit of extra shove right off the line, so it definitely has that going for it over this. So I guess that answering the question, should you wait? My answer is no. I didn't have any reliability issues with my 5.7 Hemi e-torque, and I mean, I did donuts and stuff with that truck. Like I use my vehicles, I have fun with them. So like I don't have a concern from that perspective. And, you know, the fuel economy is slightly better with the e-torque because the auto stop start and all that. I know some people hate auto stop start, but, you know, I'm not opposed to that. And then as for the Laramie package, I mean, I'm kind of conflicted on it at this point, because the only way to get like a quote-unquote new version of the Laramie package is to get the GT, which is a really cool package. But this is just my opinion, if you're gonna get a GT, I feel like you should just go for the Rebel GT, right? Because, well, first off, you can just get a Rebel with the digital gauge cluster as standard. So like, just get a Rebel. But if you really want that GT package, I don't know, I'd rather have it in the off-road truck rather than the, you know, on-road luxury truck. But, you know, I understand that comes up to personal opinion, what you're looking to use the truck for and everything. But regardless, you know, this truck still, like, compared to the competition, it still does very, very well. The only thing that I have to say is I just wish that Ram would still offer the regular 5.7 Hemi. I understand that they're probably not going to be bringing it back potentially because fuel economy and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, digital gauge cluster in the Laramie should be standard. I think that if I were to, you know, be building out these trucks, I would make it so digital is standard in Laramie, Rebel, Longhorn, Limited, TRX, and then I'd say optional in the Bighorn. I don't think make it standard in the Bighorn. I think make it an option in the Bighorn, and that's the way that I would go about it. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know what you guys think about Hemi versus Hemi e-Torque. Which one you like more and why? I know there's going to be fans on both sides of things. And there's a Hemi e-Torque right next to us, by the way. Boom, look at that. Easy to park. Actually, I got to back up a little bit more. Whoop, there we go. That's all. That's gonna sum things up with our video on this Ram 1500 Laramie with the Sport package. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Dodge Ram here in Sandy, Utah for giving me some time with this truck. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I'll see you.